Well, guess what? Finding a colonial American coin is a chore, right? Those large cents, half cents. And when we find those beautiful coppers, only 250 years old-ish, right? How often does it take to find the one you like? So now let's put on the time capsule and let's go back 2,000 years to the longest reign in world history, that of the Roman Empire, and the sector of time known as the House of Constantine, the big change. Now, we've talked about the fall of Rome, we've talked about eras, but the era is the House of Constantine. And tonight, a special bonanza on top of it. So tonight, it is an individual certified Roman bronze coin. So they're sent during the reign of Constantine the Great. Now, the reign of Constantine the Great started with his father a couple of years prior to Constantine himself. Constantius I, sometimes he's referred to as Chlorus. He was 305 to 306. And then came Constantine, and then his children, and then the nephews, and then the line is over. But the rebuild of the Roman Empire was Constantine the Great. The best part, as the graphic in red says, is we have tonight available up to 8 different. Maybe even stretching that to 10, but I'm very confident with 8. 8 different rulers between 305 and 363. That's over half of the actual rulers that ruled during that period. Now, we've been putting this project together for a little over 18 months. That is how infrequent you find quality coins. And again, as we talked earlier, as I referenced earlier, colonial bronze, 200 years old, a lot of them look like crap. Now go back 2,000 years, and that's what the majority of them are. So being very selective in the coin, and then it has to fit inside of the time frame. So if you look at the timeline, the House of Constantine, again, starts with Constantine the Great's father. The unique thing about this grouping is they actually made a coin for his mother, Helena. Right? And then we go into, that was his first wife, and then we go into his second wife and the flow. He had, again, 2 wives. First one son, Crispus. Second wife, 3 sons. Once it gets to a point where we're getting further on, Constantine the Great is decades into his reign. We have an issue that pops up between one of the second wife's children, Faustus' children, the 3 of them, and the first son, because there's a big age discrepancy between the boys. And the rumor was Crispus was having an affair with his father's second wife. So, again, Constantine the Great takes them both and has, it's done, so to speak, put together. Finds out later it's actually false. It was just a rumor set up by one of the sons to get others in power out of the way. So that way he would be first in line to the throne once his father steps down. But the storyline goes into Licinius, the first and the second, Constantius Gallus, and it ends with Julian II. And that was 361 to 363. So we have the first coins, which are the father, Constantius I, and we have the last coin, which is Julius II. And in between, all the children, Constantine himself, his first wife, and a number of the others, again, coin by coin, putting these beautiful pieces together. My competition has these coins. And they're all $79 to $89 to start, not certified. If you want them NGC certified, they're over $100 a coin. Tonight, all of ours are certified. And the reason why we have them certified is twofold. One, to prove they're authentic. but 2 in that process, as you see on the label. They give us so much information. In this case, the House of Constantine, who the ruler was, when the ruler was in power, and if it was a special issue, etc., all added to it. Now, the added bonus we have for all of our ancients, our Roman ancients, is that beautiful story card on the individual ruler at the time, which kind of puts the whole piece together. So tonight, again, we can go back in history. The 3 big pockets in the Roman history line are the fall of Rome, the end, right? We have the Age of Chaos, which is right before that. And then before that, it was what? The House of Constantine and the rebuild back to the power and the borders it used to have years and years before. But the unique nature of power and what it did to people, it still does to people today, created the flow of issues. Again, Julian II, the last of the House of Constantine, was a nephew of Constantius II. Well, in the fight for the power of the 3 sons, the second marriage, one of them survived. The other one had the other 2 killed. So his father was killed, and now he is the last ruler through the line. It's just a lot of great stories and a lot of great fun. Guys, give me a 30-second clock, please. Do we have some of these individually? Yes, check out our website. Most of them are priced more than the crazy price of $39.95. Will Constantine the Great be one? Yes, Constantine is in our grouping. If you buy a couple, I guarantee you Constantine the Great will be one of them. And we're going to work on the sons and then to the outer branches as we get closer to the 8, maybe 10 if we're lucky. But it's all about value. It's about rarity. It's about history. And nothing sums it up than the greatest dynasty inside of that of the Roman Empire, the House of Constantine, and the storylines that fall within it. And tonight, not over 100, we're at $39.95, your choice. Don't pass it up.